Hello everyone, it's Carol with Scrap-a-Dab-a-Doo. It's Tuesday at 1 p.m. and we are here to start working on the Heartfelt Creations Flip and Fold album with the inserts. And it's the album and then the two inserts that we have in the store. And each of them come with different layouts. This is the one that's in one of the packages. And they all fold up and make different pockets and flip folds. And then this one folds up and out to add as well. And I have to tell you, this album really intimidates me, and I don't know why. But we are going to be using the Timeless paper from Blue Fern Studio, and it's an absolute gorgeous paper line. We have packs of them in the store, and you get 2 of each sheet of paper that's in there. And we'll just flip through real quick. You'll get a better showing of it when we start working and putting it on the album. This is a line that Ashley sent me a link to and said, you gotta look at these. And we only have a few left in the store. They've sold out really fast, but I will have more of that and the Serendipity back in stock on Thursday. So I'll get those listed as soon as they come in. I never like to list anything until I have it in my hands because you never know. The first time that we got them in, the corners were all dented on one full set of the collections, and so I had to write to them and have them send me more. So she did do, Rainey, she did do that, and she also started an album on Sunday that she's using a mixture of both the Timeless and the Serendipity. So, because this album was a little intimidating for me, I needed to play with it a little bit. So I went ahead and started and got paper on the first page. And I just cut the paper and got the first flip fold. The pages are 8.5 by 6.5. And so we'll be cutting our paper by 8.25 by 6.25 for all of the full pages. And then we'll add on. But my way of doing an album is I like to go and I like to put all my papers on the pages and then go back and decorate. So that's what we're going to do today, is try and get as many papers on the pages and the inserts attached today. So I went ahead and did the first one because I also wanted to make sure that these magnets were going to work. And so the way I did it is that I attached the first one, and let me show you which one this is. You got to unfold it all so I can see. So that is on the pack D. It's the 10 and 2.5 by 16. So that's the one we're going to add first. And make sure you fold it and crease your folds. And then I attached a magnet and cut off part of one of the tin discs and added it here so that that will catch on the magnet. That way we're not using as many magnets, but it's still magnetized. And it makes a good clasp. So let's go ahead and get going on the second page. So I'll have to figure out what paper we want to go. The first one that I used was the Main Street papers. I'm going to move my camera back so I got a little bit more room on the table. You know, these discs are really nice because you can use them in place of that second magnet. And I just cut them apart and use pieces of them, and they seem to do well. So the first one I did was I cut this part off and attached it. And then we're just going to set those aside because I don't want to use the same paper twice. I think I'm just going to go down the line with it. So the next one I'm going to use is the Couture. Did you guys see the cute little basket that Margaret Helderson posted for the challenge? They're cute Easter baskets. So let me measure it again, because for some reason today my brain is the size of a pea. So we're going to go 6 1/4 by 8 1/4 for the full page. And because I want this side to be on the outside of it, they are really cute. I made one, we're doing a bridal shower for my niece. And so I like to make thank you gifts for everyone that comes to the shower. And that is going to be a thank you gift. And then my sister-in-law and I are going to plant plants. And I'm going to put a little plant in the middle of each one of them. So I am using the Vintage Photo to distress my edges with. Are you making one of the baskets, Heather? You know, they're actually really easy to make. And I'm just going to use my ATG gun to attach these with. I made a couple mistakes on my first one, but so we're just going to center this on here. And glue it down. And then our next insert that we're going to use is the square box. Should have gotten my extra little table out. And that is in the, I thought they said where it was insert C. And it's this one right here. And it folds up and just makes a nice little pocket. And so we're going to add that in, and I think I'm going to snug it in toward the middle. The nice thing about these books is that they have a really huge gusset. Okay. So when I folded it, oops, my magnet came off. I'll add it back later. So this is the fold for it. I flipped it up, flipped this one down, flipped this one up, and then folded it over and then in. This is the Blue Fern Timeless. And now on this one, because I know I want it to be a pocket, I'm going to go ahead and make the pocket before I stick it down. And I think for all of these, I'm going to use the score tape to make the pockets. So I have been after my husband. I have a clock here in my craft room, and it hangs on the wall, and I can't reach it. And ever since daylight savings time, I've been asking him, can you please change my clock time back? Can you please change my clock time back? Sure, 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 sure. So today I'm in here. I don't really give it much thought, and it's 10 o'clock, and I'm messing around and getting things done. I thought, gosh, you know, it's 10 o'clock. I have 3 hours. I can do this and that. So I get going and go out to get my dinner started and put in the crock pot. And I look up, and lo and behold, it's an hour later. He never set my clock back. So then I'm just moving. I mean, okay, I've got all these things to get done. I've just lost an hour, so I didn't lose my daylight savings time hour until just this morning. So I just put score tape on it, and then I'm going to line it up. So I'm going to have to make mention of that to him tonight, that he cost me an hour today. And then I'm just going to flip it over and do the same thing and get it all lined up. And then I'm going to take my Timmy ruler, and I'm just going to press it down in there. I think we still have 3 of them in stock today of this one. So I'm going to use score tape to attach this one. Can you guys see me okay? I feel like I'm off screen. Now I went back in. You could always, to see more of these albums, if you go to Heartfelt Creations, she has done a video of kind of putting one of these together. She went through it pretty fast, but it gave me the gist of things. But when we saw these at CHA, there was a lady there that, well, she wasn't there, but they had a sample there of one that had been done, and it was like this book on steroids. It was just magnificent. And I thought, oh, I have to make one of those. Okay, so we've put our pocket on. And we'll go back and decorate that. But I just snugged it right down to the corner. Okay, so on this one, keep all my tools put away. We're just got the one that just opens like this. And that is this one on the C. It's the 5x5 by 11 and 7/5. So we're gonna get our next paper. And I think because these papers are so pretty, I'm just gonna go down my stack and just grab the next one in line and put it on, and that's how we'll decide what paper goes where. I think that's fair, don't you? And since this one's going to go on like this, once again I want my pretty part to show, so I'm going to cut it to where my rose is up at the top. And once again it's going to be 6 1/4 by 8 1/4, and this one is called Song. It's gorgeous on both sides. This paper is really a good weight. Okay, and so because I want the rose, I'm going to flip it over and do my 6 1/4. And on this trimmer, I think the 6 1/4 is right at the edge where you don't have to pull your arm out. It's really hard to tell. And because I want my rose up top, I'm going to put it up and cut it here. It really is beautiful, beautiful paper. So yesterday I met up with a lady that used to come into my store when I had one here in town. I hadn't seen her, gosh, it's probably been, well, I've been closed for about 8 years. And somehow she found the Scrap-a-Dab-a-Doo site and she placed an order. Well, knowing she was just here in town, I just sent her an email and said, rather than, well, I said, you know, Vicki, I don't know if you remember me, but this is Carol from Creating a Good Book, and you used to come into the store. Well, I'm the owner of Scrap-a-Dab-a-Doo, and you placed an order, and I have it ready, and was just wondering if you'd rather meet to pick it up rather than have me ship it. And so we met yesterday at Starbucks, and so we got to chat and visit and catch up. This one's kind of hard to get a hold of, so I'm going to turn my book and line it up this way. Oop, oop, oop. Turn it over. Good thing I caught that. So it was really nice. There was, you know, and she asked me if I missed the store, and, you know, I told her, I said, to be honest, I don't miss the store, I miss the people. And I can really honestly say that I do. I had, you know, great customers there, just like I do here. And so, since we put that one down, let's kind of snug this one toward the middle a little bit. What do you think? What do you think about there? Maybe leave a little spot at the bottom for some kind of journaling or... Okay, looks good to me. You know, it was really nice. I do miss the people. Yeah, I'm still in touch with quite a few of them, but not seeing them. And on these bigger flaps, I am using my half-inch score tape. Hi, Josie. Okay, Heather, we'll see you in a minute. The hours working from home aren't quite as long as they were when I had the store. And maybe it's not that they're not as long here. It's just that I can get up in the morning and stop by the Keurig on my way to the office. And then I can actually do a lot of my work in my pajamas before I ever get dressed. Okay, so there is going to be an insert on every page. So that one's done. And then we'll go back and add the magnets and things as we go before we add the paper to the top of the books. Okay, so the next paper up, I'm going to stack all these pieces because they're coming out about the same size. So the next one up is called Abode. And this one's quite a large flap. And so it's going to cover most of the page. So I think what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to use some of the paper that doesn't have as much. And I'm going to save this spot down here, the birds and things, to add on the top of one of the papers. So, once again, I'm going to move this. So I want to cut this way at 6 1/4. And then I think I want the bottom part for my 8 1/4. So, anybody doing anything fun for Easter? Oh, this is the nice wood grain back. I'm might change my mind here and go for the wood grain on this one. What do you guys think? The wood grain? Or the pattern? Oh, Carol, have fun. What are you going to hunt for, June Marie? Are you going to hunt rabbits? So, which do you think? The wood grain? Okay, that's what I thought too. So we're going with the pattern. We can use the wood grain on a small portion of it. We're kind of postponing ours because my daughter and her boyfriend and kids are planning on coming over from Spokane next Sunday, a week from Sunday. And then we're all going to go down to my son's house for the day. So, okay, I like the pretty. Okay, so I want this to open out. So I am going to put it on the center. But I do want this to be a pocket. And I want that to be a pocket. So we're going to make our pockets first. So on this one, this is this one on C. No, wait. Is it? Nope, it's not. Hang on. Oh, it has me confused. Nope, it's this one. The 10 1/4 by 16. No, it's not. It's got to be one of them, doesn't it? Oh, okay. It is. It's this one. Gosh. They get confusing. And that's on the C. So it's the 10 1/4 by 15 1/2. They'll start looking alike after a while. So perhaps this Sunday for Easter, we might go over and get my mom and take her up to the tulip fields. And then out to lunch. Yes, of C. It is C, June Marie. We're just lining up those edges, and they do give you a gusset there on the pockets so that you have room to slide things in. Some of these, I think you could actually put a mini book inside some of these because they're so roomy. Carol, they are in full bloom right now, and it's early because they have what they call the Tulip Fest, and it's not until the 15th of April. And because our winters have been so mild and we haven't gotten, big frost or anything, the last 2 years, our tulips have been gone by the time they have their Tulip Fest. I will take pictures. That's one of my favorite places to go. Okay. So we're going to add this onto our page. And I think for kicks and giggles, I think we're going to go at the top with this one and leave room down at the bottom for some journaling. You've missed it all, Linda. We're done. No, I'm just joking. So I don't know if they're going to try and move the festival for the years to come, because it doesn't seem like our winters are getting any more drastic than what they have been with a lot of rain. And I'm just putting a few pieces of 1/2-inch score tape on the back. It's fun. My husband made a squirrel feeder. Because the lady behind us has these big trees and they're squirrels. And so he made a feeder that we can put peanuts and nuts and food and stuff in, and he put it up on a pole out by one of our fences. And Sunday evening, he went out and he filled that thing to the brim with peanuts. I think because I want to line it up at the top, I'm going to flip my book upside down. And I'm going to line it up to the outside first. I want my gap to be at the outside. So he filled the squirrel feeder and he layered it. Oh, oh, oh. Oh no. Come on. Oh, I should use Ashley's rule. Her tip number 2. Oh, come on. Just take one piece of score tape off and then go back and take the rest off. Okay, I got it lined up. You know, they don't come anywhere near the house because we've got a dog, and they don't like the dog. And but he filled that thing up, and it was late Sunday night, almost dusk, and got it completely full of peanuts, layered it with the nuts and everything. It was just completely full. And I watched those squirrels yesterday, and they worked for like 6 hours. And they took every last peanut out of that feeder. And there's 5 squirrels that are out there. And it was like, it was the funniest thing you've ever seen. Okay, so we got that one done. Let's move on to the next one. And you know, this one actually doesn't have an insert on this side, but we need to put this one on before we put our paper on. And this one's from the other side. So it's not going to go on this page, but it's going to go on the back. But because it's going to flip over, we attach it before we put our paper down so that we'll cover this. They were the busiest little things you've ever seen. And this one is, for sure, it is this one in D. And the way it's going to fold is over and over, over and over, and then up with a flap on the outside. Oh, Janny, once they're done with the squirrel feeder, they head over to the bird feeders and empty those out too. And last year we had 2 squirrels, and the 2 squirrels had 3 squirrels, so now we have 5 squirrels, and I think they're having more squirrels this year, so we may end up with more. We're fully vested in Costco peanuts. Okay, so I think we're going to go more down toward the bottom. I want to kind of keep this even so that when we're putting our papers and stuff on and decorating it and we start getting bulky, I'll just leave a little gap. So I'm going about a 1/2 inch up off the bottom with this one. Oh, Linda, that's just mean. That would be funny, though, to watch. I'll have to tell my husband that. Honey, grease the bird pole. So the squirrels can't get up there. Okay, so now we're going to go back and put the paper on this page. And the next one up, oh look, it's the beautiful butterflies. And I think I want that part of it on there. I think I'll cut it down some to where we get both butterflies on it. That might not be bad to... Okay. So Ashley is going to be on right after me, well, a half hour, so she can start the recipe book. And she will be here on the Scrap-a-Dab-a-Doo channel. So once again, we're cutting at 6 1/4. Wonder where the 8 1/4 ends here. Linda, this is the Heartfelt Creations Flip Fold album. Okay, so I want the... And this is the Flip Fold album with the inserts. We're using both sets of the inserts that we have in the store. So I wanted to come out, so I cut off some from the top, and I will cut off the rest from the bottom. And I ink my edges. I don't like white edges. And I do like using the mini ink pads. And when I'm using it like this, I like this because I can leave it open and then I can just set my little rounder right in there. Right now we're just adding the papers. Okay. I knew that was going to happen. And then we're going to go back and decorate. And this is recording. It is a big fluffy album and it's going to hold a ton of stuff. Okay, so it looks like there's a whole stretch of this that doesn't have any tape on it. What the heck? Never had that happen before. I don't know what's going on with this. Huh. Now I got goobers on there. Oh, I never thought of that. Okay, there, we're back on track. That was weird. I'd never had that happen before. Hi, Luscious. How are you? Okay. I like my gun. It took me a long time to get used to using it. Barry had sent it to me when we first started, and I put it up on the shelf. I thought, nah, I don't like it. And then one day I ran out of the little, tape runners that I was using. I was using these. And you know how fast these go. And I ran out, and I thought, oh man, I gotta finish this project. So I grabbed that gun. Took me quite a while to learn how to control the... Okay, so next one up is Artistique. Artistiquue. Okay, and since I want the rose up there, I'm going to cut this one at the 6 1/4 this way. And 8 1/4 this way. You guys have to, Ash, are you going to do your show this Sunday since it's Easter? Ash started an album Sunday, for those of you that weren't here, that she's using a mixture of these two papers. And she built the book. She has the recording on her Ustream and YouTube. If you want to put your links in there, Ash, you can. Please do. And then she's going to finish with it. I don't know if she's doing it this Sunday since it's Easter, or if she'll continue it the following Sunday. Oh, so she's going to be on at Saturday at 1 p.m. on her channel, which is ustream.tv #channel Scraps Button and Bows. She will record it. So guess what? I put this one on upside down. Let's see if we can get it off. Yay! Add a little more tape just to... Okay. Now we're going to get it on the right side. Yeah, I know. I don't have one of those. I have them in the store. You'd think I'd have one. Okay, so this one is a... We don't have to add it on before we do the paper, but the next one that we're going to add in is, and I know it's this one, this really long one on D. So that's the next one. The one that we just did was this one on D. So the next paper up, it looks like we're going to have enough papers, is McConnery. And since we don't have, actually, you know what we do? We need to put this one on before we put the paper on. We'll figure out the fold. But let's go ahead and get this one attached. You broke your sewing machine, Ash? How did you do that? This one's your favorite one? Okay. You know what? I'm going to have an extra insert here. So maybe we'll add this one over here after we're done. But this one's going on the back. And I think we're going to put it at the top on the back. How about the middle? I think we're just going to go with the middle. You know which paper It's really kind of funny. Die cuts with a view paper stinks. It's got a funny smell to it when it's first new, when you order it in. Okay, so I think we're going to save the bottom of this paper because we're going to have this insert. It's just a folder. Where's my cheat sheet? It's this one. We're going to put on top of this page. So I think we'll save some of the pretty parts of this paper to go on that. So I'm going to do my 6 1/4 from the top. You think so too, Jenny? I always thought. And when they did their glitter paper, oh my gosh. That glitter paper was almost enough to just send me running. Oh, that'll work out nice, because then I'll get almost all of the roses on the bottom and we won't be hiding them. So 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. Hi, Dixie. Oh my gosh. The news this morning was so sad about the bombings in Belgium. My heart goes out to them. We know what it's like to have that happen, and it's just horrible. So we're just going to line this up. Put that on. And I don't think I'm going to make this a pocket. I'm not going to set it down. I might just make it to where it flips down for some journaling. But I am going to fold it over to where it's got both of these, because it's really hard to fold. Now this is really a good quality thick cardstock that they made these pockets and flaps out of. It's not just cheap cardstock. It's really good cardstock. The nice thing, Heartfelt Creations has wonderful papers, and their quality of papers might be a little more expensive than most, but I do love the quality of their paper and their products. I know. I had to just get up and walk away. The coffee paper is wonderful. So, and I think on this one, I think we're just going to put this folder right smack dab in the middle. I put my favorite chicken recipe in the crock pot. Okay, we're just going to put this one right in the middle. Eyeball it and plop it down. Okay, for my chicken recipe, you take boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I usually use about 4 of them. And I put them in a skillet with a little bit of butter and garlic, and I brown them. And then while that's browning, I take a small onion and chop it up and put it in a skillet with a little bit of garlic and butter and saute them till they're soft. And then when that's done, then I will add to them a can of cream of mushroom soup. The next one up is keepsakes. And in that cream of mushroom soup, it's the condensed. So I add a can of milk. And then I add about 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. And then I take the chicken breasts out and plop them in, oh, I love this one, the crock pot, and then pour the cream of mushroom soup mixture over top of it. Put it on high and cook it for about 6 hours. And then just before it's done, I will take and boil some curly noodles and put the cream of mushroom sauce over the curly noodles when you serve it. So that's it. Ooh, I almost cut it wrong. 6 1/4. It really is good. I've been making it for years. It's one of my husband's favorites. And he likes it because then there's always leftovers for him to take to work with him. Okay. We're almost at the end of the book here, ladies. We'll go back and take a look and see where we want to add our magnets when we're done. And I kind of want to work fast on this album because my mother-in-law's birthday is May 5th. And I have been the keeper for years of their big locker trunk that has all of their old family photos from back in Tennessee and when my mother-in-law and father-in-law were growing up, and then all of Dan's brothers and sister, all of their photos from when they were little, growing up, and all their schools. And I would like to get all of my mother-in-law's pictures out of there and add them to this album and give it to her for her birthday. So probably in the next 2 weeks while we're waiting to continue, I think I'll go through her pictures and pull out the ones that I want to add to it. and get them done. Okay, so now we're on to our last 2 pages, and I am going to save the front cover and the back cover to do because I want to do some kind of a closure. And so I'm going to decide on what kind of closures there. So I'm not going to do the covers until we get done. Okay, so we're going to have to add the paper here. And the insert that is going on this one is this one. And it is this insert, the 13 by 13 on D. That's the next one we're going to be adding. So we're going to add our paper first. And the next one up is called Freedom. And this time I want to make sure that I get that bird seed in there. So I'm going to be cutting it there. So I want to cut it this way so that my bird cage is at the top. That'll be my 6 1/4. And then we're going to cut it this way. June Marie, that's my mother-in-law's birthday and my granddaughter's birthday. So 8 1/4 this way. So Cinco de Mayo is a good day around here. So 8 1/4 this way. What size is your monitor or your TV that you use for a monitor, Heather? Isn't that pretty? Looks like that butterfly is just popping right off the page. Love it. A 40-inch. Boy, that's bigger than the one we have in our living room, Heather. I know. Isn't it, Josie? I mean, these will be perfect papers to use for all her old school pictures and her aunt and uncle, my husband's great aunt and uncle. They lived back in Tennessee, and they owned a pharmacy, or a drugstore, as Dan called it. They had the drugstore, and it was one of those old-fashioned ones with the soda fountain and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And they've got pictures of Dan and the kid, the other brothers and sisters sitting up at the soda fountain having their ice cream, and just great memories. And I think she'll really get a kick out of seeing all of those pictures in this album. So you want to make sure all your inserts are folded and that all of the creases are made before you put them on, because it'll be really hard to do after you get them on. What a good son you have, Josie. Okay, so we may fold these different as we go, but for now, this is how we're going to fold it. Okay, let's take a look here. And I think this one, because the paper is down there, I think we're going to put this one up at the top, because then that'll leave the bird seed and everything open. Okay, and now we're on to our last page, and we're on to our last folder, which is this one right there on C. It's the 7.5 by 13.5. And that is all of the folders in both of those. Oh. Okay, so we're gonna make a pocket out of this one and just put it on the page, so it didn't need to flap over. Okay, good. Had myself worried there for a minute. Whew. And you know what? Unfortunately, the last paper that we have is this one. And I don't want to use my tags, and I don't like the dark. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back through and we'll look at the back sides of this paper. That one's too dark. That one's okay. Doesn't have a lot of the design. Or there's that one. This one's too dark. That one's too dark. You know, this one might be nice. It's got a little bit of... And this one's too dark. And this one's okay. And this one's a little too dark. So I think I want to use this one. And it says, "The sweet smile of my darling." So I think that one will work good. So that's the one we're going to use. I think I'm going to send one of my sons to you too, Josie. I have one that's pretty good. And then I've got one that could use some schooling on how to treat their mother. Okay, so 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. I don't think any of us would really trade any of our sons for new ones, would we? Okay, so last page. That went pretty darn fast. Oh, Linda, you're so lucky to have just girls. Girls always come back. Boys seem to leave and never come back. Okay, so then we're just going to put this on right there. Oh, you're welcome. I have a bunch of stuff that when I was doing inventory when we were transferring the store over, that I just pulled because they didn't seem to be selling. So they are going. Uh-oh. Guess what? Put the tape on the wrong side. They are. And if you're lucky, you get good daughter-in-laws. Bye, Carol. Thanks for helping out. Tell your sister we said happy birthday. Okay, so let's start this one over. I use it a lot. This is my new one. I have another one that doesn't look so well. So it's here somewhere. But these are my lifesavers. I use these probably more than I use anything else. So that's not going to quite work. I need a smaller tape for those edges. No, I use that eraser a lot. Oh, you're welcome, June Marie. I thought you could use it for the kids. It wasn't something that I was ever going to use. So I take it your box got there. I was really surprised. Heather ordered from Australia. And I think, you put the order in on Tuesday or Wednesday. I shipped it out to her on Friday. And she got it yesterday, which was, gosh, after sending it was just over a week in shipping. Hey, one of the ways to keep this clean, you can pull it off. But you know what? I find the best way to keep it clean is I just take my scissors and I just cut it. And you can cut it all off and take it off. And it cuts it down, but then you get to the new eraser underneath it. But yeah, just spend some time just taking your scissors and just cutting it off. But that's how I keep mine clean. I know, I was shocked, Heather, because you said it'd take 3 weeks to get to you. And it was just a little over a week. And it was there to Australia. So our postal service is making me look darn good. When I get orders in, I usually don't get to them the first day that they came in as far as packing them. But I usually have them packed on the second day unless it's a Wednesday. Or if the order comes in on Friday, which means it'll be packed on Monday. Sometimes Thursday too if I'm packing Wednesdays from when I'm gone. But it usually doesn't take me more than 2 to 3 days to get an order packed and get it invoiced. And if you haven't gotten an invoice within 2 to 3 days of placing an order, then you need to email me because you might not be getting the invoice that I sent, which has been happening quite a bit. Okay, so we're just going to put this pocket right up on top of the words. So Anita, do you have sunshine down there today too? Hi, Pink Poodle. Okay. So, there it is with all the inserts and everything. It's a book. And we are, like I said, we're going to have to find a way to do it. I might make a craft text closure to put on here. It's a great book, isn't it? Chunky Monkey. But it's, I mean, I think it'll be great. So I am going to unclog my glossy accents because that's what I'm going to use to put magnets on with. Yeah, it's still cool here too. We have some sun, but it's still cold out. I like the size too. At least it's not raining. I think my dandelions are growing faster than anything, although I do have some of my tulips out. Oh, that's a good idea. A belly band. You could dress up the belly band. Yeah, it does. Yeah, because it's quacking like a duck just sitting here. There's no way it's going to close itself. So it definitely needs a closure. We'll work on that. This is the Heartfelt Creations flip and fold album, and then there are the inserts that went into it. And then the papers that we're using are the Blue Fern Studio papers. Okay, let me glue this one back on. Then we'll go back through and decide where we think we need magnets on these other pages. Now these are the discs that we have in the store, and I'm just going to put a paper clip on them as I put them down to hold them in place. I think when I close that, yep, it does. So I don't think on this one that I'm going to put a magnet on this one, because I think what I want to do here, and I thought I'd cut some out. Let me check. Okay, I did. So I want to put some closures like this on it with the string. What do you guys think? The string tie? And what I did was I punched these out with the Fiskars 1-inch thick material punch. And then I just took my big crocodile and lined it up center and punched a hole in the first one. And then I just stacked these and punched the hole in the second one. And then what we're going to do for this closure, and I can't put it on, I don't think, until I get the paper on, is we're going to take the closure and we're going to put our brad through it. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So this is the 1-inch circle punch and it's cut out of chipboard. And then I took a brad, just a small brad, and then we're going to invert an eyelet. See how that is? Where we're going to put the eyelet upside down. And then we'll put it through here and make them like that. And then we'll do the other one too. And I should have done that one, but I think I'll be able to reach. I think I'll be able to put it on okay. So that's how we're going to do that one, but I can't put it on until after I get the paper on it. And then we'll punch some out. So we're not going to worry about this one. So as far as the fold on this one, I think what I'm going to do for a magnet is put it here. Here and here. So I think we're just going to go ahead and do just one here. And then I might make this into a pocket here. No, actually, I'm going to do it here and here. Okay. So I'm going to attach my magnet first. And then I'm going to put my thing on there. Okay, so these are the metal discs. I'm going to zoom back out. These are the tin metal discs that we have in the store. And what I do is I just cut a strip off. It just has to be big enough to catch the magnet. And then cut it in half. So then we'll decide, and it holds the magnet really well. Put it there. And then we'll line it up with that. Okay, so I think that'll work. So we're just going to put some, these are all going to be covered by your paper. Everyone still here? Uh-oh. Help. My magnet went down into the spine of the book. So once again, your magnet will tell you where it's at. And I'm just going to put a little bit on there, close it, and then I'm just going to lift my magnet off so I don't pull the back one off. And now you have a little mark where your magnet goes. It's not going to work. It's not big enough. Okay, so that's going to hold that one for right now. And then I don't think this one needs a magnet. I think it's going to be okay. We can add one later if we need to. This one's definitely going to need a magnet. It might need two. No, I think we're just going to use one. I think we're going to put it on this flap here. And then on this flap. And then maybe we'll add some... Might have to add a couple of them on this one. But for now, we're just going to put them on these two to hold them closed. So I'll start with my piece of tin. I get those clothespins at the dollar store. So, and then I use the little Tim Holtz hinge clips. Never found them useful in a project, but I find them useful for holding things in place. So I think that'll work. We're going to put a little dab of glossy accents just on that to mark it. Pull it off. You can use quite a bit of glossy accents because, like I say, we're going to cover all this with paper. Yeah, this one's lost its oomph. Okay, so we might add another one to this one as we go, but for now, I don't think so. So this one, I'm going to put one on here. I think that's a good idea. I love my clothespins. I get them and I use them for my chip clips too when I want to close potato chips and bags that need clips. My husband says I'm weird. But I know I am. I don't have a problem with being weird. He says, don't you know that that's why they made chip clips? And I said, but yeah, why would I spend, $4.99 on 3 chip clips when I can go to the dollar store and buy a package of clothespins for $1 and have 60 of them? He says, oh, well, I see your point there. So, okay, so now we're going to mark this one. I know. So we're just going to put the magnet on here. Fold it over, see where it lands. And then you've got your mark. I can remember growing up that we would have clothesline. And I am going to actually put something between this so that the magnet doesn't stick on it. Okay. So on to this big one. It looks like for this one we're just going to need one right here. I think that one will be easy. Hi, Dee Dee. So we're going to take about a half-hour break. I'm going to be done at 3, or as soon as we get the magnets put on here. And then we're going to take a little break, and then Ashley is going to be on right here on this channel to do the recipe book. I've never seen those, June Marie. I'll bet they're discontinued though, aren't they? Hi, Margaret. It's recording, so you can catch the recording. We're just getting our magnets on. We're going to touch that, mark it. And again, I'm going to put something over top of this so it doesn't stick to the magnet and pull off. Although I really don't have to, because the last one we have is this one. And I think what I'm going to do with this one is, because I haven't figured out how I want to fold it quite yet. So I may just run a ribbon, cut a slice in here, and run a ribbon around here, and use a ribbon to tie this one. I ordered them quite a while ago, and I thought they were going to ship with this last order because they showed they were in stock. And then when my order shipped, it doesn't have them in there. They said they were out of stock and they unavailable as far as when they know. So if you can find them somewhere else, find them somewhere else if they have them in stock. If not, give me a holler and let me know you still want them, and I'll go ahead and keep them on my back order. So I think that's it. I think this one we're going to do the pull strings again. So that is it. We'll go ahead and recap the album. We've got our papers on every page. Then we've got our inserts on them. And we've got our magnets drying. Oop, that's what I thought. Okay. So, anyway, I'll do some repair work here on some of the magnets that stuck, that weren't supposed to stick. And we will go ahead and get logged off. All of the products that I have used here today can be purchased at scrapadabadoo.com. And if you have any questions, you can email me at scrapadabadoo@comcast.net. So I will. Yeah, I know. They do that to me all the time with Ranger. You put in an order and you think you're getting everything, and they tell you it's in stock, this is the date you're going to get it, and then boom, you don't get it. So I just think I don't have very good luck with them. So thank you all for joining me. Gwen will be on next Tuesday, and then I will be on the Tuesday following that. So it's an every other week thing with Gwen and I. If I take a look at this album and feel like we need to do an add-on so that I can get it done by the 5th of May, I'll go ahead and probably just piggyback with Gwen on one of her weeks, but I will let you know. You can find us on Facebook, and we are under Scrapadabadoo Crafts on Facebook. It's a private group. All you have to do is send a request and we will add you to our page. And I thank you all for joining me, and we will see you in about 38 minutes, 35 minutes with Ash of the Recipe Book. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. Hugs.